Word spreads before the sun rises. Timelines are impacted, a few trembling under the breakfast tables. The studio is silent. Not him was the last voice to join the others. Not right now. They were the first light of day for a long time. Small conversations over coffee punctuated by giggles during commercial breaks and those faint motions that were almost palpable through the screen. When the light goes out today, the world is leaning in to listen. In a dark kitchen, the screen of a phone comes to life. The time now is 4:12. The silence is oppressive as Kelly walks barefoot on the coal tile. As she answers, time seems to bend. A steady but shaking voice utters the words, and she only manages to make them out. As though in prayer, the cup in her hand drops on the counter with grace rather than smashing. She stares at the family calendar, notes written by hand. Prepare yourself, having dinner with pals, taking a weekend getaway. Yesterday, the existence of future was established. Evidence of eternal intentions was present. At first, she doesn't say anything. Grief seems to be taking her time to settle down. She inhales deeply 3 times, and the scene changes to a labyrinth of closed doors. The home shakes, and a pale light fills the city. Children are running around the hallways, while the dog sniffs out an unresponsive door. Kelly moves carefully, careful with the edges of everything as she pours porridge and responds to questions that have no name yet. A framed photo of the couple is on the mantel, posing with real, unscripted smiles. She straightens it out. It tilts back in a persistent and familiar way, as if even pictures knew how to lean into their loved ones. The lights go off as the live concert starts. In a religious service, a producer's voice is as low as a librarian's. The empty chair beside hers echoes with the sound of quiet. It says, "We can cancel," through the earpiece. The teleprompter waits calmly, like a beacon through fog. Kelly walks the stage because love has always been a part of her life, not because she has to. Even strangers who appear to be neighbors leap up to join the throng. A quiet exhalation fills the room as her fingertips lightly brush her lips and she plants a kiss on the desk. With a slight tremble in her voice, Kelly answered steadily, "I knew I would need help today. I'm at a loss for words, but maybe the ones we use when we speak to each other are the best. Thank you very much for being here." There is no performance being present. Cabs are slow during rush hour. Phones have their volume down. The loud sounds of the coffee shop give way to polite murmurs. Even if they have never met in person, people feel a connection in quiet corners and busy kitchens around the city. Messages flood in, not swarming but saturating. Fragrant summer flowers are frequently sent by coworkers. Text messages from friends you haven't seen in a long time can resemble handwritten letters. Videos featuring impromptu jokes, fast glances, and unscripted affection are shared by viewers. The house becomes a collection of memorabilia. Scarf wrapped around the back of the chair. The coat is hanging from the wrong hook. The refrigerator is decorated with the words "Back Soon" inscribed on it. Kelly visits each room, touching the items that bore witness to their lives. A recipe card with his assured but crooked handwriting. A drawer that is misaligned despite his promises to straighten it, and a crystal vase with dried fingerprints. His bedding pillow still bears the scars from his sleep. She can feel the echo of a heartbeat that gave her her own rhythm when she presses her hand to the location. It gets dark. The house is filled with resoluteness. Kelly sits at the kitchen table with an overflowing heart, a pen, and a stack of blank cards. Their story is summarized in brief sentences. We met. We changed. We chose. We chose again when she realizes that the pages cannot hold all of the common marvels they accomplished. She puts this down on paper. I hear someone calling out to me. Her closest female pals arrive in a jumble of socks and disheveled buns, as if to indicate that they know what to do when all else fails. They don't start their questions with why. Do you like water or tea better? While soup is arranged in bowls, grief is positioned in a corner, able to observe the table, but unable to operate it. In spite of everything, he was able to keep a tidy office drawer. Kelly opens it like a ritual. It contains a birthday card she never saw, a note addressed to you, if you're reading this, and souvenirs from their first movie date. She's not sure. The paper comes to life in her hands, revealing who she really is. If the day comes that I'm not with you, look to your left. I am the silhouette in the dawn light you love. Make a right turn. It's me you're going to speak aloud. Continue on. Even if you help us more than I ever could, you do more than that. You can find me there, where your laughter and breath meet. If you're missing me, the path that loss has already marked is followed by tears. She starts with a guarded smile, as though she doesn't want to startle people with her joy. A few weeks later, she returns to her work. The chair next to hers is still there, not a ghost, but a guardian. She carefully positions a picture at the edge of the frame, not for the camera, but for the moment that passes in between each picture. Kelly, I learned a few new facts. Lovers just move. They don't leave. It moves into stories, songs, recipes, and the way your friends make you eat different meals. It is strangers that make the most hospitable hosts. If you have experienced a loss, I will support you. Additionally, today, if you haven't already, get closer to your people. No, it's not fear, but gratitude. Ravenly, a new day begins. She receives small gifts from the city, such as a barista who remembers her order, a cab driver who quietly turns down the music, and a young girl who remarks, "He looks happy." Sadness doesn't go away. It just becomes more adept at being kind and doesn't ruin everything that stands in its way. When the days flip again, it coexists with laughter. She keeps a list of eyewitnesses on the refrigerator. Who won today? It's her daughter's joke from time to time. The neighbor occasionally stops by and takes the recycling can. From time to time, it resembles the letter in the drawer. Crumpled, unfolded, and crumpled again, growing stronger with every truth and softer with every fold. Hymn films, a dance in the backyard, a flower fight while cooking cookies, and a kiss that was stolen by the light from the refrigerator. In this fictional realm, their love is more like a river than a statue. It flows, reflects, overflows, but it always finds a way. She can swim and reach with one arm at the same time. With practice, the children discover that foolishness and happiness go hand in hand. The key turns in a different way now, but doorways can still mean welcome home to the dog. She skips the first birthday, the first holiday, and the late night hoping for a text that never arrives. Each first feels like an exam that she never studied for. She is able to withstand them instead of passing them. And there's a subtle genius in surviving. On a second chance spring morning, she plants the tomatoes he had planned to plant. He claimed that when you closed your eyes, they tasted like July. She murmurs, "Look at you, still arriving," as the earth is broken by shoots. She pulls out a notepad and writes back to him. Definitely not a goodbye, just a quick aside. Kelly writes steadily. On a side note, I recollected the tale you consistently overlooked in the most enjoyable part. Just so you know, I straightened out the crooked drawer using tape and sheer willpower. Just so you know, the kids laugh just as loudly as you. Just so you know, the coffee keeps brewing because of love, your love. She places the note in the same drawer as the ticket stub and the letter she found when the house felt too big. In our fictional tale, loss is not so much a cliff as a shoreline. Rough and merciless, yes, but sculpted by waves that know their own dance. As she stands there, she lets her feet touch the ground and the water. If you're in pain, I won't tell you to be strong. They'll tell you to be held. Anyone is welcome to bring soup. Let the sun climb the curtain. When you don't want to go for a walk, give in to the dog's requests. Love is here. I promise. It's just organized differently. Her smile starts in the eyes and gently spreads outward, delicate like a flame being borne by the wind. The screen vanishes.